Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:06, and if we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For roll call, I have Chad Van Ryn, Corbin April, Beth Wood,
Here.
Sandra Calvert Wood.
Here.
And then the next thing on the agenda are the minutes. So if everyone had time to look at minutes.
I make a motion that we table the minutes. We need to make a few corrections on there. We need to take a vote.
Okay. Yeah, if we can get a vote on tabling minutes.
Aye.
Okay, and then the first thing under new business is reorganization of the board. You are in need of a new president.
I make a motion that Sandra Calvert is president.
I'll second.
Okay. And I think we would do a vote for that as well.
Aye.
Okay. And then Sandra, if that's something you're willing to take on, this meeting's yours.
She is. Okay, it's yours, girl.
Okay. The first thing on the agenda then is the design variance for Batcho Boulder Dick.
Or is it nominated vice president?
Yeah, we need to do a vice president.
Oh, you were vice, weren't you?
Yes.
Oh, yep.
Okay. I nominate Corbin April for vice president.
I'll second.
I'll abstain since he's not here to defend himself.
Come on.
I don't know if he's interested or not. You guys got the vote anyways.
Okay.
Well, he's voted then, so. And I think, do we also have to say we're closing the voting for
Yes.
that? Yeah. Okay, Sandra, it's all you.
Okay. Now we're ready for the design variance for Batcho Boulder. You want to come up and tell us what's going on?
We applied for a variance for this property because our wish is to build a closer than 75 feet to the middle of the road.
Right.
We have limited space for the building we want to put up, and as such, we applied for the variance. We brought some pictures of the original property, the way the house used to be before we tore it down and prepped the property for a building.
And those pictures aren't part of the record yet, are they?
No, this one we actually found.
Okay.
Would you like me to show you?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
So, this is our home, 8459.
Okay.
This was the house in question, 8405. Yes, 8405, my dump truck's out in front of it. That's in 2009, and we've taken that grade down 6 feet, pushed it back level about into there to make improvements, and I held off for several years building this until I could afford to pay for it.
So you're wanting to put the new building where the old house was?
Yes, ma'am. This is what the building's going to be, roughly. And this is what the piece looks like now,
Those
since
are in
we've
our,
approved it.
those
Yeah,
are
I
in
think
our
these were in the
packet.
packet.
Yeah. This was the only new thing that I found, but it shows the house where it was right on the edge of the hill.
Do you want to see this, Chad?
Yeah. Just for a second. Blue house. Looking at this. That's the 8459 right there, and that's
where
torn
the-
down, that's where it's putting it.
Yeah, but lower that grade. It's
And that driveway goes all the way around.
several thousand yards of dirt.
It's lovely.
Do you need this?
Stuff that I'm supposed to read.
There you go.
Thank you. Okay. Variance may be approved only upon determination writing that the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community, which I don't think this is. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner, and the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. Okay, public notice in accordance with IC 5-3-1-2 and IC 5-3-1-4 shall be published at least 10 days prior to the meeting. That was done. At least 10 days prior to the hearing, the planning director shall notify all interested parties of the public hearing by certified mail. Okay. At least 10 days prior to the hearing, the planning director shall post and maintain a sign on the subject property notifying those passing the property that a request for variance approval for the property has been made. That was done. The staff, if any, may appear before the board at the hearing and present evidence in support of or in opposition to the granting of a variance or the determination of any other matter. Other persons may appear and present relevant evidence. A person may not communicate with any member of the board before the hearing with the intent to influence the member's action on a matter pending before the board. Did anybody get any contact?
No.
Not less than 5 days before the hearing, the staff may file with the board a written statement setting forth any facts or opinions relating to the matter. None of those. The board shall conduct a public hearing on the application for variance approval. Following the hearing, the board shall take action on the application. The board may approve, deny, or approve with conditions. The board shall make written findings of fact in support of its decision. Does anybody have any questions?
No.
The only question I have, I can't see this copy real well.
It's not very clear.
I do have this that I printed off. Can we see?
Pull it up on the computer.
Yeah, see, I printed that, but she should. Can you put it on the computer or?
Should be able to. Technology.
Is there anybody here to speak against this proposal by chance?
Yes, I don't know what the proposal is.
Now, this, where's Bull Barn on Newark Road?
I have 3 letters from adjacent owners in support of. I sent that guys in the email.
I guess I'd like more information before I can make comment one way or the other. I mean, I got the documents that the building department put together, but it's dry and written by a surveyor, so it doesn't really explain to me what the variance is for. how it could possibly affect me, how it could affect the county. I would just like to understand all that.
Because usually a building is supposed to be 75 feet from center of roadway, and the building that they're proposing to build will be 45 feet.
From which roadway?
The,
Newark.
yeah,
Which one?
Newark.
Okay.
It does sit up on a hill though, about 12 to 15 feet above the road.
do you have more questions? Is there more that you want? Because he would be the person to ask.
I just want to understand the scope. I mean, what's the building for? Are you putting in a business? Is this agricultural? I mean,
Retirement, hobby, fellowship, family, storage, hobbies, cars, tractors.
what about all that?
Tinkering, so forth. Everything that I can think of that we can do there that brings the family together.
Because that's not what I got from reading the material. So what I got was there was going to be access to one of the county roads, and there might be some agricultural traffic, and
We live in the middle of the farm. That's not farms. But we live in the middle of Freedom Farms, but that's not our family.
Do you guys
So
have a
this
picture
is-
over
this
there?
used to be- this was up
Do you guys
against
have your
the
picture over there?
I do on this
It's a
computer.
piece of property that's adjacent.
That one's
or
not
used to
working,
be
huh?
Park Farm.
Okay,
This
it's,
is in the Green County line.
So,
Yeah, this one's not on.
here you can, I can share. So. Is it this parcel up here? Or this one down here? If they don't have a parcel number down, if you look at 8405. You try the parcel right up above it. Do you have a picture?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's.
Parcel number, not hard here, not on,
Yeah, I was looking on the app.
alright. It's on the property card. That's on the screen.
But that's not the address. Try this 001 017. Hover over the number. There you go. There you go.
all right, there you go. Yeah.
There you
So this area here is where
go. Okay,
they're wanting to put it, because everything else is just trees and uphill.
okay. That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure. That's the only question I had.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments in regard to this application? I have a motion to approve, deny.
I'll make a motion we approve as
I'll second.
is, yes.
Does anybody else have any comments? We can close the hearing on this application.
Call for a vote.
Call for vote.
Oh, yes, we need a vote. Aye.
Aye.
3-0, yeah, 3-0. Okay, now we'll close this application. And you have to prepare documents for them, correct?
I will have to get those documents to them. Yeah, and get them signed. I will have to get documents signed. I'll have to have you sign one with me, and then we'll get that to you, get it recorded, taken care of.
Thank you. Good luck.
Okay.
Thanks for all the hard work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we're ready to open the hearing on the design variance for Graber.
Just accompanied with Matt Braver,
Okay.
Steve
Hello.
Langford.
Okay.
Matt and his wife Rachel, they want to buy 80 acres on the corner of Kelly and Bond Roads.
Okay.
And this is a building that, similar to what they want to build. And they want to establish a farm. They're down in Davies County right now with a similar business. Their livelihood is making cabinets, wholesale, cabinetry, and for a couple of different retailers in India and different cities. And they want to be working under the, the legal legalities of it being a little bit different than a farm, because they're going to build cabinets along with the farm. So we applied for a variance. There shouldn't be any significant increase in traffic, and because it's not a retail shop.
All they plan to do is just build the cabinets there and then transport to wherever they're going?
Yeah,
Yeah, basically a wholesale, primarily wholesale cabinet, custom cabinet business is what we've been doing for the past 10 years.
Are you doing the transporting, or are there semis involved, or how is the transportation being
There
done?
probably will be some semis for supplies and that kind of stuff. We're not talking a lot, but there's obviously there'll be some plywood supplies and stuff coming in and out. As far as the cabinet part of it, it'll be mostly just like a truck and trailer for that part of it.
Okay, I'm just considering traffic flow on a county road
Yeah.
and heavy traffic flow. Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I do. How big is the building gonna be?
We was talking like, I think that it was a 60 by 80.
60 by 80, okay, and that's commercial size building, correct? And you're building cabinets, so that's commercial.
What, should this need to come to the BZA then? Should that be?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, you want to keep it agricultural, but yet you want to you're running a business.
What our goal is to have a family business. We're not talking something very big. Currently, we have about 3 full-time employees that work in their force. And then we've got 7 children we're hoping for something for them to do in the future, I guess you would say.
I think it's more palatable to go a variance rather than, there was some discussion about zoning change. As far as my personal feelings, the fabric of the whole area would change if we saw a zoning change, whereas a variance would be, it's going to look similar to a farm building.
The variance would disappear if they were to sell the property, correct?
Well, that could be a stipulation, but
Yeah. Well, you can't sell it to Walmart or something crazy,
And I think that was the point of the variance versus rezone to commercial, is to keep something like that from happening.
Yeah, I mean, if we build something, if we change the zoning to commercial and they would be approved, that would open the door to a lot of different things. Whereas these farm and plus make their livelihood building cabinets. I wish you could make a living on 80 acres, but that's not going to happen.
Right.
Unless something changes.
well, and you got to look at it too from the aspect of the tax collection on there. We're not going to get the tax dollars from the agricultural as much as we would commercial. So, and I don't think you would want to make the whole thing commercial.
But you would have the income tax from the business, right? As far as you would have taxes coming in from
If you have personal property.
as far as personal property, you're saying around the business.
mean,
equipment, those types of things, but
so you're, as far as the real estate tax basis, how much difference that is? Or,
I don't know.
I don't know, it's a concrete floor, our taxes are pretty good the way they are. But anyway. This is close to the school. It's good. It's within a
It
couple
is.
miles, so that's what we've been trying to do, is find property that's close enough that they can get there.
Would you be spraying his cabinets, staining them, and
They would have to
their
finish
stuff
up.
and everything in there?
Yes.
Ball in there.
I'm not comfortable with keeping it as agriculture because I just feel like there's manufacturing there too. I don't want to be the bad guy, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, I'm still not sure that this is the right way to go about it anyway. Yeah, it'd be great not have to worry about it. We already have to worry about it. Might have been better for the rezone,
Yeah,
not to say that it's gonna happen anyway, but I mean, that might have been a better avenue to take. But
So are you wanting rezoning of what? Of whole 80 or where the building sits?
no, I would just say where the business is. I wouldn't want to rezone the whole 80.
Is there still going to be agricultural?
There would be some crop ground and pasture ground around it, I'm sure.
Because if your business grows, then you're going to want to be able to go ahead and build onto the building. If you are going to do that, you want to hope that you're going to have growth for the future.
Well, we're not talking anything big. We've been doing this for about 10 years, and we want this back off a little bit, if anything. Keep it more of a family-sized business for the future. That's our goal.
I would think if they wanted to grow, that would be another, application, another mission here. But what we want to do now is it's going to take probably 2 to 3 year process of moving up here to be able to establish a business. They make a living, making cabinets and farming. So we didn't want to do something, there's a lot of businesses in Owen County that are grandfathered in, and now that we wanted to apply and be approved, for variance.
and another thing, we don't even know, any idea where this pole barn would go. I mean, 80 acres there.
Well, I made a site plan or did, and the one I brought in here didn't have the distances, but the
Well,
one that I
it's got a
applied,
box drawn in the middle.
Yeah, and that's what he passed around.
well, the one I gave you didn't have the dimensions on the one.
Oh, okay,
Ken
the-
did, does.
Yeah.
I mean,
620 feet off of one road and 540 off the other, is that correct?
from memory.
Can you see that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
very, it's something like that.
620 off the west side and 540 off the east, 1,265 off the north side, and 1,195 off the south.
There are no other small businesses out there that are at the variance in Owen County, or how does it?
my first day on the job, buddy.
We haven't done any since I've been on the board.
No.
I just know that we have rules that we have to follow.
Well, you got zoning and you had to go through a similar process in Davis County.
We did not. It was,
If you ever drive down Canterbury Road, it's not an unpleasant experience, so. And there's lots of businesses that
there's
these people like.
all kinds of businesses out there.
Mm-hmm.
Any businesses that we've had have been small ones, not this size of a building being built.
Right.
Yeah, we don't even have an exact size, do we? I mean,
No.
what would stop them from building very more than pole barns?
Out in the middle, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
They did have some variance.
So do we need a variance just for that site? Would you be happier if you had a survey of that particular plot and then give a variance on that, or what would make you
Yeah,
happy?
I would think if you had a survey of that area, and then we could work with it that way. What do you guys, what do you think?
We can have a survey.
That's what I would like.
Of the area that they're gonna have the building in.
Yeah, because are you gonna have to have other facilities in there? Are you gonna,
Well, our hopes are to live there. Is that what
Okay.
you're- Is that what you're asking?
well, yeah, and then you're gonna have to have your septic and all
For
that.
the residents.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that gonna be connected to the building, or is that gonna
Not
be?
directly connected to, no, it'd be in the same area.
Okay.
Obviously. Yeah.
We were not approaching the septic end of it until the.
Till you got your
until they get
approval,
a
right,
house.
right.
What we did is, we did seek out, the A1 sanitation
Mhm.
has the portalets, and it's a real reasonable fee for the building until they build the house.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's,
One step at a time on that.
yeah, I would like to see a survey as to where the building's gonna be placed, in the dimensions of the building. That's what I would like to see.
Got the dimensions of the building, but. so
But
basically-
But not on the land.
Basically, you're asking for a site plan, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because right here, we just don't really know what we're approving.
So we can look for this month.
Well, you don't have a
Come back
legal
with something,
description.
One more concrete, or,
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, flat out denied, and then can't.
Yeah, I don't want to just deny it. Yeah, I'd rather table it and.
We can table it for them
See
to
what-
provide more information.
Yeah, get some more information
I'll make a
and
motion to table it for this month, we can come back to it next.
I'll
month.
second that. I'd feel better about knowing more.
So we table it, what would be, if we get our stuff together next month?
Yeah, yeah.
Give us a site plan and where you plan on putting your house and your barn, and a better idea of where everything's gonna go, how it's gonna lay out.
Yeah, because it's not that we don't want you to be here, that's for sure.
Well, appreciate that.
Yeah, we would, we welcome you.
Really, I guess it gives us time to think about, maybe ask the question of whether this should have even come here, if this should be going.
To planning, yeah.
Yeah.
May I ask, on the site plan, you're not asking for a legal description of that plot like a deed, you want maybe a surveyor to
Something
prepare?
a little more than this that we can read, okay?
Like, where's the house gonna be, septic and,
Yeah, like proposed area for your house. I mean, you know where your business is gonna be, and then you go from there and.
how much is gonna be left agricultural?
We got a motion on the floor right now.
You tabled it and I seconded it.
We got-
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, hey, thanks.
All right.
Thank you. Can I ask a question? Are the people that live around there gonna be notified of the site plan?
Yeah, they'll be notified again.
Did you have any opposition to it, or?
I just wondered,
Just want to know what's going on? Oh, okay.
There's,
Not mine.
It was already there.
oh,
Okay, we're closing the meeting then, or the hearing then for Graber, and we will now open the hearing for the use variance for Holloway.
Evening.
Hello.
Rebecca Florida. This is my husband William. I believe that Heather has already provided you with our packets,
Yes.
but I have some additional things for you guys. I just made a copy for you guys.
Okay.
So we are the owners of the Heartland Hollows Lavender Farm on 9993 Newport Road, and we are requesting a variance to have a commercial building on the property, and in order to have our gift shop along with our lavender farm, and we also do events and things on the property as well. Those pictures and the things I sent you is particularly pertaining to the festival that we intend to have annually. There was some question about the space that we used, if it would cause any undue issues with our neighbors. So those pictures indicating us to having our parking on our property and the due diligence we took to make sure that our trails and paths on our property were roped off so our guests stayed on our property. I think that was the main source of concern, as well as traffic in the area, which we contracted with one of the local school bus drivers who shoveled our patrons in so that we were mindful of the traffic it would cause to our neighbors.
Okay.
And that's in those pictures as well.
So what was your turnout this last spring?
We had 1,000 attendees, and that was between the 2 days.
So 500 a day, or?
It wasn't an even split, I
It was about
couldn't say right now.
600 on Saturday, maybe 400 on Saturday, Sunday-ish.
He's my number guy.
Okay.
And again, that's a one-time event that would be of those size. Any of the subsequent events that we have, harvest season for lavender is only 2 weeks, between June and July, and it kind of fluctuates, so it'd be only 2 weekends where it'd be less than 100 people for those particular events. And then our regular daily operations, way less than that. So we'll have gift shop hours from Thursdays through Sunday, 10 to 5. And when we do our workshop sessions, which would be four sessions a weekend, it would be less than 20 guests per session. Because we do have, it would be ticketed and it would be registered, so we would know exactly how many people would be coming.
So you're only using the shuttle bus during your one event, did the one for the
Yes,
next
just
event?
for the festival.
Festival.
And we're in the process of securing a lease on another property to be able to have parking to negate having to have a shuttle bus, an adjoining property that they could just walk onto our property from.
Are you open currently?
No,
No.
we were told no. That we
Okay.
needed to wait, go ahead and make sure we did our due diligence on this end. We were in the process of getting all this set up and getting our permits and our commercial building permit. There was some miscommunication and we did not realize we had to get the variance as we're an agricultural business, but having the gift shop changed that factor. So, yeah.
And the events and, I got this lovely brochure, and I passed it along to a lady in my office. I got this from tourism, and her girls are, her little granddaughters are really small, and they were excited. They went out there and were very disappointed. This brochure doesn't say anything about not being open.
Right, we were intending to have already been open. When, about a week before our festival happened, we were informed of the miscommunication with the zoning, and the commissioner said that we could not be open until we did this. On our website and on like Google Maps, it says temporarily closed. There's signs on the property that says we're temporarily closed, has our contact numbers and information to help disappointed people that wanted to come out and see it, that we're not quite there yet, as well as on our website, our harvesting for our lavender won't even be till 2026.
I did read that on your website.
What makes this less commercial than the previous application?
Well, I know there was some issues with the event itself, and we, just a few months before this event happened, we had the Tier 10 that came before the board, and they jumped through hoops to get their things done, and still getting some blowback from that. And it's turned out very well, I think. You know, there's been a lot of positive feedback. But it was a very strenuous.
We did as well, in order to be able to have the festival occur as it was. It was quite stressful having that happen a week before. We had 70 vendors coming out.
How long ago did you have any communication with the building department?
We did, all the way through from the day we bought the property in regards to what we were going to do on the property, that it was going to be commercial. We were required to go through the state to get a building release, CDR, if I remember the acronym correctly, release to be able to have a commercial building. So somewhere along the lines, there was this communication about having to rezone, and that's where we got hung
I
up.
seen the permit for the festival in one of the emails, so you
Yes.
already spent money for that, and we're told that you can't do it anyway. That's
Yes,
not
we
right.
did go,
I think
we
the-
did
but
get a
what-
permit done.
So I know that there was communication with Suzanne, and then unfortunately she left. Fortunately for Heather, she's taking over now. So I don't know what you know about this, Heather, or
So what
do you feel as though we dropped the ball?
well, what I know, I got some permit requests for buildings, but they were marked as residential permits. I didn't necessarily know they were commercial when they came to me, so when I processed those, I processed them as residential. But beyond that,
Was there a file that you had or anything?
no,
Any emails or anything?
The
not.
emails came from the state directly to the building and planning office. I don't know if they came to Heather or not. And I did.
Do you have
once
the
I do.
emails?
I don't know if I have them directly on me. You have those documents because I forwarded that to you. that
I'll,
email.
well,
Actually, I can pull up our, is that what you're referencing? The state's
Yeah, I know, I just know that there's.
CDR?
Yeah, I mean, we have the amusement permit that was in our packet. I
That
heard,
application was submitted to building and planning.
uh-huh,
And it was submitted directly from the state, so that release comes from them. It was sent to them and CC'd to me, so I know that it's gone there. I can locate that for you.
yeah, I think there is in another file a commercial release for a building. I think the initial permit she did, which was under the prior administration, had a commercial release done on it for that building.
So something besides this?
Yeah, yes.
That is separate, that was through the amusements to make sure that the space that we had was meeting the standards for the state. I do have those, let's see, I've got the permit. I think I have a hard copy of it.
So you're only looking at doing large festivals once a year?
Correct.
Okay.
So we filed this in January. This is our hard copy of the design release that was released on the 16th of January. And if you want the full application that we send in, I can give you that as well. And then we received these permits, our commercial permit on the 30th of January.
And that was issued from the state?
No, that was issued here from the county.
And those were permits, I'm sorry.
So this
I was
one,
reading this and
you're okay.
listening to.
This is her building permit for her commercial building that design release would go with from.
This
so-
goes with that.
Yeah, so this
Correct.
one is from the county and that one is from the state. And that was from January.
Sorry.
And this is for commercial, but then you said something about,
And then there were other permits that we did later, and I don't necessarily remember
They
which
were all done at the same
buildings.
time,
They were.
but we had a storage shed that was not going to be used in a commercial way.
so you
And
did a
that was-
residential?
So it's residential, yeah.
Okay. So I read that you have on-site parking, and then you've got adjoining neighbors that are willing to let them park. That doesn't really alleviate the issue with the roads, though, if those cars are going to be driving down the roads. That's, I'm just talking, I'm just saying what I think.
So some of the due diligence that we did in preparation for this, as I stated in our documents I've already submitted, was that we did inform all of our guests that were coming and their tickets and email prior to the event. And we also had it posted on social media and Facebook about roads that were preferred for them to travel down, Mount Zion in particular, coming through that way as opposed to the random directions that Google will send you, to make sure that they were not going down some roads that would be less desirable to have gravel roads that weren't paved.
And like she said, we directed traffic toward the Pattersburg Elementary, so that's what they call the
We
festival.
had the Masons were directing our traffic and were controlling that for us.
And the school released you able to park there in their
Yep.
parking lot?
Yeah. Wait, insurance was covered, so we make sure it's ended up there, yeah.
Does anybody have any more questions before
I'm reading this really quick.
I let the people in the audience?
And as she said, the rest of our events will be pretty small, so the parking that we have will be a little more than sufficient, so we'll have room for everything else.
Your property is all agricultural, correct? No commercial?
Correct.
Nothing at all in any part of it?
It's at 100.
Either one of you have any more questions?
No.
Does anybody in attendance have comments? Go ahead, Sheila, your hand was up first.
Okay. First, I want to say I am here as a resident on Newport Road. I am not here as a county official. did my homework. I've done my homework for a few months on this whole thing. In fact, there was an email that was sent to you August the 8th of last year telling you that you needed to do this exact process from Suzanne. I have a copy of it if you would like it. Are you acknowledging that you did
I
receive?
acknowledge I did receive that, and also when I went in subsequently, I was told that I didn't need to rezone.
I have emails, but
I'm not
In the meantime,
contesting that.
as a lavender farm and as what they originally had the intentions of doing, I have absolutely nothing wrong with that because it is on a small scale, as she related. It's not like thousands of people coming in. The event was not part of what her application started with and the intent of the lavender farm. It is the event that I have a problem with. Our county roads are a mess. There's no, and they're getting worse by the day, and there's no money to fix them. But bringing people in by the thousands per your own Facebook postings was expected to be. I think your attendance was lower, unfortunately, due to the weather. And I feel sorry for you for that because I know you put some work and some time into it. However, it is an agricultural and a rural community. I get that you get to have the agro-tourism permit, and that is fine. The rest of that stuff and those events are for an event. It is not part of the lavender farm, that agritourism. I know a lot about this, unfortunately. I've been the planning and zoning director off and on.
But you're not representing that right now.
No, I'm not, but I do know, and I did my homework. I have a folder. I'll be more than happy to provide you what I have. I asked questions. I went to the last director, asked her what it was and her understanding. I talked with Heather about it. Again, as a resident in the community and the traffic for events, I do not feel is fair to those of us that are out there. I don't have anything against anybody in this room. Parking, we gotta have parking, we gotta do. You took liberties on Facebook, you closed a road, you were told by the commissioners that you couldn't do that.
That is misrepresented. I didn't close any roads, I didn't put any sign up, I was
It is on your
communicating.
Facebook
I
page,
was
and I took pictures.
I understand, I'm not saying that I didn't post that information, and I spoke to the commissioners, and I relayed that to them as well. It was a miscommunication from the information that I got from the bus driver, Tommy Wilkinson, is that correct?
Williamson.
Thank you. That he was saying he was talking to the commissioners and talking to the police to make sure that got closed. That statement got put out, it was a mistake, it was taken down. I was informed that that was not how we do things. I apologize, I took it down immediately.
Again, lavender farm, small scale, it's what agricultural and some tourism is for. I'm okay with that. As the event, I oppose it. And I would be more than happy to show you stuff that I have. Again, I have done my homework. I have looked at your site over and over. I have, again, I know August the 8th of last year, you were given an email to do the process that you needed to do. Thus, here we are tonight after an event. The commissioners allowed you to have the event because so much had gone into it, but it has to get right to begin with.
I agree that I did get that email in full clarity. That was in the midst of planning and going back and forth. There were several conversations about different ways we were going to utilize the property. And when I brought in my information and I got the design release from the state, I asked two questions. Do we need to rezone? And when can we start building? And I was told it wasn't necessary and we could start immediately. We would not have put a cent into putting buildings up on that property until we knew we were following what we were supposed to. We took over 2 years of going back and forth with Suzanne to find out what information that the county needed from us to be able to do this properly. This was not an intentional trying to mislead. I know she's very upset with the way that things happened. She let me know all over my Facebook about it. That's how I found out we were not zoned properly.
You said you asked 2 questions to whom? Is that Suzanne you asked?
I don't know for sure. It was months, it was in January when we were bringing the paperwork in. I didn't, think to write it down or record it, because I took it at face value. And now I know better.
Now, just trying to clarify, I wasn't sure. I mean, we've had conversations with the state, we did the village administration, so.
Wendy was next.
Oh, hi. I live next door to the property, and we were delighted when we thought it was allowed. And then came the Fairy Festival. Numerous neighbors complained, neighbors put up signs everywhere. You could not get through the road. You could not get through the road until volunteers came in, yes, and helped park the cars up in, there's two campers where people live there. And they parked those cars that were all along the road where you couldn't get through. They put them up there where the campers. The bus is hauling the people from the school. One bus almost hit a car. I mean, this is how dangerous it is. Our road is a gravel road. It's a narrow road. It's a windy road. All of our roads out there are bad. One of the neighbors went to 2 counties and got as many no trespassing, no parking signs as he could find and lined his entire property. We put wire on the back of our property. There were so many people there. I mean, it was a fairy festival, which I don't have an issue with that. I have an issue with the traffic, the noise, the beer trucks, the food trucks coming in, just constant coming in. For her own words, she's told me, her own words, that she talked about the traffic. She said she communed with property owners to gain better understanding of the plans of Martin Fairy Fest will occur every May, and Harvest Festival during June and July, as well as gift shops from May through September. You pick availability. June and July, the artisan workshops and company events are noted and planned for weekends, but no season was shared for these events. Recently, we've been advised as well, larger gatherings will become common occurrences and part of the business model. I have several neighbors' signatures on here. It is a concern for our neighborhood. We live out in the country. We have fields all around us. We moved to the country, so we would have the country. We didn't move to the country to have big festivals. Lavender Farm's wonderful. Big festivals, I just don't approve of.
May I clarify? We had an incident Saturday morning of the festival. A vendor showed up an hour before he was planned to be there. I couldn't get out of the gift shop fast enough to catch him, and he drove exactly where we told him not to with his big box truck and got stuck in the mud. There was about 45 minutes where the other vendors came in and it stopped traffic. It shut down the road for about 45 minutes. Not volunteers, my staff got into action and moved people off the road and parked them where they were supposed to be parked.
We have drone photos.
And you can see the rest of the festival had no further incident with that. As for the bus driver incident on the road, the bus drivers we hired were county bus drivers that take that route on a regular basis, and we expected a standard of caution to be taken from them. I was not aware of that incident until much later because it was a comment that floated out on Facebook. The conversation I had with Wendy, I gave her an opportunity to meet in person and clarify anything, explaining to her that I was sitting on the floor in the hospital next to my mother the last 2 weeks where I've been in Texas. It was 6 a.m. in the morning, and that clarification on what I was sending her may not be very clear, and if she wanted to speak to me in person, we could meet and I would answer any of these questions. I did not say we were going to have large-scale events on a regular basis. What I posted and placed in that documentation is almost verbatim what I said to her, except not company events. I meant to say community events, but typing it on the floor, having not had much sleep, was not very clear.
She did tell me she was at the hospital, and I'm sorry about that, you know. I hated that you were there, but it was, my information I have here were through text messages. The text messages from you to me, and that's where I got my information.
And I will gladly share that with you, and it is not very different from what I said there, minus some typos.
That's not very different from what I read. And as far as the traffic, it was two gentlemen, I believe, from the Lions Club or something.
Those were
that
hired
ended
staff.
up doing the parking. When we came back through, when we left, we couldn't get through. We had to go all the way around. When we finally came back, there were two gentlemen there, and they were rerouting the cars up to where those two campers, the people live in those campers, are where they are planning on parking the cars.
The neighbors next to us, the gates allowed the cars to go around the box truckers. And they park on the back end of our property. You can see in those pictures I provided, is exactly where they're parked.
Go ahead, Pam.
My name is Pam Rogers. I live at 1411 Kelly Farm Place, Spencer, Indiana. Since this is a public hearing, I'm making that announcement. I support the use of a variance to support our ag tourism in Orange County. However, I had limited time to review this application. And from what I gleaned from this application versus what I've heard tonight, it's two different stories. The identification of a ferry festival, I can't find under the criteria as an ag tourism type activity. It was unclear in this application that there was 1,000 people that were supposed to attend an event. It is important that we preserve our agricultural community and we support ag tourism, but we do not want to abuse that power. I have no interest either way in this particular decision, but I do believe the BZA should consider the following conditions, whichever way they go with this. One, will alcohol be served on this property? This has become a problem with agritourism and some of our variance permits. Additional considerations must be made concerning our infrastructure, the roadways in Owen County. Since the use of buses are indicated, a condition that the advertised route of the destination was approved by the bus drivers, this is something that needs to go before the Highway Department and the Board of Commissioners. It's well known that we are underfunded and we don't have the infrastructure to support our roads. We have 1,000 people coming in, let's say 2 people per vehicle, that's 500 other cars coming into a community. Now we have buses. Who's paying for our roads? They are undersized. There is a provision within the planning and zoning that if this was not under the BZA, that certain conditions can be requested, such as supporting that infrastructure. But again, a blacktop, double wide, correct type of road to support the volume of people that they are requesting. So instead of just denying something, you can put conditions and terms as to what you require in order for this to be approved. The application also stated that they've not yet put in a septic system. Now, I may have misread that, but it says that there is a plan to put in a septic system. I would, at a very minimum, believe that there should be a letter from the health department.
I have that.
Identifying the restrictions or requirements. It was not a part of the application, that's why I was asking. And when it references a special event permit, that's a permit issued by the Homeland Security. I asked the BZA to consider that the Board of Commissioners recently announced that they are writing an ordinance specific to events in Owen County. If this were to be approved, possibly you could add a condition that those terms and those requirements identified in upcoming ordinances will also apply to this retroactively. At a very minimum, there should be a letter of support by our emergency services and our law enforcement stating that this venue can be supported by our service providers. I found no reference to that.
I did not have.
And as
I'm sorry.
a very specific example, when a problem happened and the road was blocked, not intentionally, this did cause an inconvenience for people coming, going, and it could cause a problem in an emergency type situation. So, although I am a big advocate for ag tourism in our county and was here to support this, after reviewing it closer, I'm on the fence because it is my personal opinion that a ferry festival does not particularly fall under what the state lists as ag tourism type activities. So I just ask the BZA to potentially not make a determination at this meeting tonight, to give extra time and consideration to what is required in order to either approve or disapprove this, and if it is approved, to pay heed to what conditions really need to be put in place to protect the neighborhood, the roads, our infrastructure, and give that consideration to what really is agritourism, and do we want to have a fair or an event of this scale in this rural community? Thank you.
Thank you.
As a condition of the event permit, we did speak with the county highway department, the police, EMT, the sheriff, all of them, told them our expected numbers, which were higher than what we actually had attended, and they did approve that we go ahead and have the event. So we did do our due diligence, and in regards to the septic, we have yet to put the septic in. It has been approved by the county already. It's not in place. We have a really wet spring, so we keep getting pushed back on that.
As an addendum, I didn't see those letters or the signatures.
Correct, they were not in the documents. That's correct. I can get the emails to the board if that's necessary. As the event had passed, I didn't put them in the current information.
Just make sure they get to Heather, and then she'll get them on to us, and she can copy Pam.
I think I have the sheriff's email is what they sent. It was a confirmation email.
Yeah, if you'll just forward it to Heather, she will forward it on to us.
As a side note, sorry, I just need this for the records. The first speaker, can you give your first and last name and address?
Sheila Reeves, 9260 Newport Road.
And our second speaker.
That was you, Wendy.
Wendy Powell, 10021 Newport Road.
Thank you.
I don't know where at the look and see for the other ones.
Okay.
The sheriff's letter was the one I had printed.
Okay. Your turn.
Carter Bell, 3201 Minton Road. I adjoin the property across her northern border along with her neighbor to the east and the neighbor to the west. I have the full length of those three neighbors I work with. I am full support of small business in Owen County. I think whatever we do here, or you folks do here, you should give her an avenue with these people, an avenue for success. As far as the festival goes, you know, Clayshire, just 5 miles from our property or 6 miles through the woods, has thousands of people down a road no bigger, no better than ours, far more than this festival. And Clay County is able to operate those. I'm a lifelong resident of Owen County, and I've never seen good roads in Owen County, so to talk about how bad the roads are gonna get because of this festival, that's a moot point, because they ain't never gonna be better. And that's my opinion from being a lifelong resident. As far as the festival goes, and traffic and small roads, look at Park County. They have 1 million people go through there in 10 days. These folks just want to have a festival 1,000 people, yeah, it's a country road, it is. Park County has country roads with tens of thousands of people on in 1 week, and this is just 2 days. I support it. Again, I think you should give them a direction and an avenue for success rather than just try to cut their knees out from under them. They put a lot of work into this property, and I can appreciate this, you know, that kind of, it's not like they hired it done, sweat equity. These folks have worked their butts off on this property. I respect that right here. So if you can find your way to give them that successful way to do what they want to do, I support it.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else?
I have 6 signatures on here if you want to keep it, or, I mean, I don't know what to do with it.
You can go ahead and give it to Heather through the file. Is there anyone else that wants to speak on this matter?
Can we have the names of the people that signed the petition against it?
Let me see if I can read them.
If I would say one other thing, sorry.
No, you're fine.
It's just the people right next door. The person that's probably most affected by this are complete full support of it is the Gates family.
Okay.
Well, and I mean, we're, it's right against our property, so we're directly affected by it. They have stands and different things abutting our property, the trail runs.
They're
abutting
more than
it,
200 feet from
It
the
abuts
property
our
edge.
property.
More
So
than
we,
200 feet.
well, it does abut our property, and there are buildings out by our property, and the trail runs along our property. That's why we put wire up, just to keep people from coming across. So we
And
are
in the pictures, as
directed.
you see, we have barriers
I
up.
know this, he lives up on the corner of Liberty.
Thank you.
I think they ought to be ready. This is Ed and Lana Home.
Yes. Okay, Ed and Lana Hahn, Peggy Whitlow, Robert Wright, Geraldine Ridgeway, Joan Collins.
The last thing, as a neighboring property border, I was aware and seen barriers that they put so people didn't drift onto our property.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else?
I'll say something. I very seldom leave home, I'm always there. And during this festival, I never heard a thing, never heard any, I think maybe once I heard some kids laughing. I never heard anything, I never saw anybody come onto my property. It was as quiet a calm day as any other.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I give you
Email.
Thank you.
Do either of you have anything to add? Thoughts?
I guess I can make one comment. We were browsing through the Owen County websites, and we saw the economic, not the economic development. Yeah, specifically targeted agritourism, that it actually stated Patricksburg in there too, so we felt our property, our location
Being a
was
placemaker
spot on
was
with
key.
what the leadership in the county is after. So,
And I would like to also ask Heather if there were other letters of support that came through.
There was one, and I did send that out to him and passed that.
Was that from Heather Gates or from the
Yes.
chamber?
From Heather Gates.
I was aware that that Marcy King from the chamber also submitted a letter.
I don't have anything from her.
That was in the stuff you just handed out to us.
I think this is what kind of things Owen County's missing out on. We need agritourism, but at the same time, we got a lot of people that are upset about it, and they don't like the repercussions, the tear on the roads, and traffic and whatnot. Also, again, I wonder what's the difference between this and the previous application, because it's other than the agritourism aspect of it, I guess. It's still a commercial venture, correct?
Again, asking with the variance, it would revert back to ag if we were to ever sell the property.
Right.
We're not manufacturing, there's no pesticides or anything along those lines that goes with the care or excessive water use that goes with the care of the lavender. Yes, we had food trucks, we had 4. We had one that had alcohol, and it's not contingent on any of our events.
I agree with this gentleman here. The county should be doing whatever we can to facilitate these kinds of things to make everybody happy, to where we can have agritourism and have people, happy about it, rather than griping on Facebook because of, incidents. You're gonna have incidents, like your guy that didn't listen to, he went where he wanted to go instead of where he was instructed to go. You'll have that any day, every day, especially the more people are involved. Guess what I'm getting at is what can we do, what could we set in place to make this work out better? We definitely ain't gonna fix the road or make it wider or anything along those lines. That, I know.
No, that's beyond our control.
Exactly.
Well, we could approve with stipulations that they do block off, make sure everything's blocked off between their property and the neighbor's property to keep people from wandering onto it.
We have the authority to set an attendance, threshold, no more than 500 people, no more than, I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, they're talking just one major event a year. I think we need to hold that to one major event a year.
Maximum capacity maybe,
Well, the last was what, 1,000 in 2 days?
We had 1,000, yeah.
So about 500 people a day.
If the stipulation gets placed on event, one major event, could we have clarity as to how that is defined? And currently in the event permits that the county has, it's kind of a murky definition, so that we retain within the agreements and any regulations of how many people becomes then considered an event as opposed to any other thing written on the property.
And what does your permit say, 2,000? Is that what it said?
Pardon me, the permit request, yeah, was for 2,000.
2,000. Which you had bad weather, which reduced your attendance, right?
We also, this event has been going on for 5 years.
Okay.
In various locations, we did rentals, and our demographic mainly comes out of Indianapolis, because we were in Hendricks County. And moving out here decreased the volume and being new and change, and people trying to find where you're at and all of those things.
Establishment.
We had a gap here and there too, that's what
We did.
for the property.
2023, we did not have an event because we were out working on the farm.
Okay. Yes, Pam?
I believe the hearing is still open. It's Pam Rogers. Something just came to mind for the BZA to consider. Testimony given at a BZA is done under the same thing as an oath. And if a petitioner or a person making a comment, they're required to make a truthful assessment. One of the comments and objections indicated that what was being reflected may not actually be what had occurred on paper. Could the BZA, as one of your conditions, consider forwarding this to the attorney for a legal review as to whether or not there are any conditions here pre-existing because of the switchover of the administrators? He said, she said, the documentation, what can be done to help support petitioners and to do it the right way. If something has been misrepresented, then that carries a heavier hammer as to how the BZA reviews things and what terms, conditions, or considerations that might be made. This might be something that would be worthy of sending out for an opinion before making a determination to help the community come together on all of these matters.
In regards to the county lawyer this is the document that they provided us, giving us the approval for the event and what we submitted
So
to
he's
them.
actually already reviewed it?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, those are all the
And
guidelines
again-
that we have to have.
Again, not having been part of what this was today, I did not add that into the packet.
Yeah, I did not have a copy of that.
Well, we didn't
We
either.
didn't either, Pam.
Not until now.
Can I have, what attorney or what that position?
It was the county attorney,
What county attorney?
this county attorney, and that went through the board of commissioners and through the county attorney. And I apologize, I don't recall the gentleman's name.
When about was it written, because we've changed.
That
county
was
attorneys.
days before the festival.
May 11th is when it was signed.
So it would have been,
Yeah, permission.
It was in
May 11th is the signature date.
correct, that was the agreement that we came to with the attorney and with the board of commissioners in regards to allowing us to have the event last May.
And so not having a corner, that's until we get proper clearance.
But you're only planning the one major one, one big one, the rest are considered to be smaller,
Less
20
than
people at a time events.
In regards to the comprehensive plan in supporting agritourism, we supported 70 vendors for this event. All but 4 were all Indiana locals. About 70% of those were from either this county or the adjoining counties. We have a collaboration with 10 local businesses down here on the square to be a part of our ferry trail, our virtual ferry trail that promotes visitors to come in from out of state. In fact, I had a grandmother call me, say she was going to come to our event, get a hotel, do one day at our event, take her grandkids around to all the other sites here, asking for local information and contacts to tourism here in Owen County. It's not unusual for our event that people travel from out of state and come and do that and bring more of that kind of business into an area. And so we do ask that you consider that being part of the comprehensive plan as placemaking, that is what our intent was. That's what our business directive says, that's what our plans say, our documents that we've put together. It's never been an intention to mislead anybody in regards to the events that we'd be having on our property. And if you were so inclined to go back and look at our Facebook page from the very beginning, the announcements that we've made, the things that we've discussed, we have been very transparent about what we were doing. I'm sorry that there are neighbors that were unhappy with that, but until Wendy's text the other day, I was not directly contacted by a single neighbor. We have a, 6x8 sign or whatever it is in our, hanging off our front porch at the property with our phone number, website, and email on it. Particularly because we had a lot of people drive by and wonder what we were doing, so we wanted to make sure if they had a concern, that they could contact us. The concerns with the events and the permits, none of that was ever directly commented to us. It was remarks on Facebook that alerted us to what was going on. We were not trying to be dismissive of people's concerns. And we did our due diligence, we thought, to be as transparent as we could about what our intentions of this property was. From the day that we purchased it, that was everybody who asked, the Chamber of Commerce, the building and planning when we went in, when we talked to them, the Board of Health, septic, etc. We explained what we were doing out there, and it wasn't an intentional misleading of events happening out there.
department hand up again.
Wendy?
Oh, my husband spoke with her many, many times. Like I said, we're neighbors, and we don't want any hard feelings or anything, but there was never anything mentioned about anything other than a lavender farm. Most of the neighbors around us, I don't think they get on Facebook and look at her site. I just happened to because we're neighbors. That's when I saw the information about the dairy farm. I didn't know anything else other than we were gonna have a lavender farm. That's all I knew. So as far as the neighbors stopping and reading their permits or whatever, I never did. I thought it was a lavender farm. So I'm sure most of the neighbors out there had no clue what was going on. And her charging is not really relevant, but $17 a person to get in. I mean, this is where the money's coming from. It's not just a lavender farm.
Lavender farm does not-
It's a business.
Fund, it does not.
It's a business.
It is correct. The festival, that ticket fee to get in barely covers the cost of operations for that event. That event is a marketing event for the lavender farm.
It's correct, the ag part is not profitable, the tourism part can't be. So it can't.
Having the gift shop, which was what we needed.
And your intent with the gift shop is to also provide products from other,
Yes, so local craft, folk craft artists will sell their items in there along with our lavender.
so it benefits local artists too.
Yes, so we have 10 local artists that would like to, we're kind of in limbo at this moment, that would like to sell their crafts in there as well.
Okay. Any other questions? Thoughts?
Call for a vote.
No, we have to have a motion.
What kind of conditions would you be willing to put it on?
I am going to abstain.
Yeah.
I have information that has been presented to me outside of my office, and I've been privy to information inside of my office, and I'm
That
going
gives
to
us a
abstain.
That
If
would,
she abstains, will that give us our quorum?
that would be two of,
Okay,
you'd have
so-
two, one not voting and an abstention, so yes, you would still be able to make a vote.
Requires three, five's on the board, three.
But we have 4 on the board right now.
5.
We have 4 members right now.
We have one member to be appointed, so there are only 4 of us right now.
But the board is appointed of 5 people.
Right,
So by ordinance, it requires 3 people
right,
to pass,
right.
not the number that are, there's only 4 currently holding, the number is still 5, therefore it requires 3 to pass.
The other option is
To table it until next
you
month.
can continue it. That is always an option on the table as well.
When
to
is your next
continue.
event planned?
We have nothing planned at the moment because we put everything on hold. Because we wanted to make sure we had our due diligence here and didn't continue to spend money on property that we couldn't see the return from.
Well, we should have a 4th board member present next month, as well as hopefully our 5th person appointed by then. We're waiting for a commissioner appointment on that.
I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to
It's
table
here
it.
and here. Could you repeat that, please?
Right now, there's only 3 of us here. We're a 5-member board, but we have 1 member that needs to be appointed yet, and 1 member that's not here. With just 2 of us, we don't have our quorum to make the vote. So we're going to table it till next month.
I'll make the motion to table it till next month or our next meeting.
Okay, I will second that.
Vote.
Favor? Aye.
I'm in favor.
Abstain.
Mhm. that meeting didn't have a quorum. All right, so we will now close the variance for
Sorry. I
Holloway
knew I was going to do that.
and open the design variance for Fresh Roots LLC.
Well, at least we've got to discuss.
I'll give some time to do a little bit of research too.
Yeah.
Because we got presented with a lot of new stuff tonight.
Did you bring Ms. Clark?
Huh?
Is Ms. Clark here?
She's not. She couldn't be here.
Okay, go ahead.
Why?
It would help, but go ahead.
Did she send a letter? Because she said she might send a letter to you. She wasn't sure. I said, well, I don't think you need to. But
I don't have a letter from her, but you're okay. You gotta present.
okay. I already got the paperwork from her. Hi.
Hi.
So I am here to try to get permission for my stepmother, Sandy Clark, to give me a portion of her property to be added to the Fresh Roots parcel. We've had 3 surveys. This last survey we did was number 4. And I was told by Heather that we needed to come here to you guys. So the property that my stepmother is going to be giving me is 1.62 acres, I think, if I would remember the numbers right. And it just gives me access to the back field. The full property that my father had, after he passed, it was split up in 2, we split it in half. So my stepmom's right in the middle of us. I don't know if you guys have a map or not.
I
But anyway, she's like in the middle. My brother and I got the right-hand side. My sister and my nephew got the left-hand side. And we split it pretty much in the middle of the back. And it's on Clark Road and Keeler Road. My brother did not want it, so he sold it to me and my partners, Robert and Will Adams. And they are not here tonight. I didn't realize that they should be. I apologize for that. And so really, we're just trying to get it added to the Fresh Roots side, so we can have access to the hayfield and the property, the woods behind it.
And Miss Clark is not with you either,
She's not, she's in Indianapolis.
because
She
we
was
really
gonna
don't
send a
have her to,
letter. Huh?
we don't really have anything from her saying that she approves of this.
Is there any way I could call her? She's the one, she's the one that instigated it, and she actually has Pat waiting to do the deed over at Hickman Lorenz.
I know Pat.
That was one of my questions, is that survey, I don't see a description. I see a drawing, but I don't see a description.
I brought the, I gotta get my glasses on, I can see.
Okay. Okay.
And my stepmother is, Sandy, she's just wanting to get this buttoned up in case something were to happen to her, because there's no access to the back portion of that field. And the portion that she's actually gonna be giving us, Fresh Roots, is the power line. So I can't build anything
That's
on it
what
anyway.
is on, yeah, no, that's a fence.
Yeah.
So she's basically giving you access to be able to get to that.
That's it. Because my sister and my nephew, they won't allow us to go on the old farm road to the back.
So they've landlocked you.
And that's the only thing. So my stepmom's just being gracious and saying, hey, if something happens to me, I want you to be able to access your portion of the property. So she's just wanting to get it done. She's up in Indianapolis with her
I'm kind of
She's
hesitant.
just gonna start talking to her, and then,
You're stuck,
and
yeah.
then I'm stuck.
I'm just kind of hesitant without her here to say, yeah, this is what I want to do.
More than happy to get her on the phone.
Would you guys be okay with her talking to us via phone?
Wow. Well, you turn the phone on. I had to turn it off.
Just put her on speakerphone and we can talk to her.
Yeah.
That way it gets it into the record too.
Okay.
That way it'll get it into the record too. Is that okay with you, Heather?
That is fine with me if that's fine with you. Your board.
I'm gonna take a
I
second.
just take
to
notes.
Come back to earth.
Where's the drawing on this one now? I have it. Here.
Different drawing? Same drawing?
Yeah. So yeah, that does have the power line right through it,
It
doesn't it?
Mhm.
And the power line goes across my back field, on the back portion of my property. Down off Keeler,
I know right where
or on
that,
to Keeler.
I know right where that intersection is.
And
I'm north of there.
she's gonna answer. Yeah, she's not answering, it's just going straight to voicemail. So, then what would be my next step?
Just table it and get the right people here.
Till next month.
Under public hearing. Can I make a comment?
Yes.
My name is Pam Rogers, I am a neighbor. You'll find a filed objection. It's not against this parcel, this is a great family, I absolutely support what you're doing. This petition is not eligible to come before the BZA. There is no requirement for a variance to be filed on this parcel. I included chapter 12 of our zoning ordinance. If you will go to 12.1D5, it identifies that a division of land for the transfer of tracts or tracts between adjoining lots, provided that no additional principal building use sites are created. This qualifies as an administrative subdivision. No variance is required. This petitioner should have their money refunded. I mark this off as us having a learning curve in our building department, not pointing fingers, but the owner of this parcel, Mrs. Clark, is the person who should have filed this petition. That should have been flagged when it went through our building department. She is a family member. This is exactly why we have our ordinances, to prevent needless families coming in, paying this fee, and having to have a zoning variance, when all she has to do is go down, have that survey, go to the auditor's office, recorder's office, it's a done deal. It does not require a variance. You have all the details on that.
It is an administrative subdivision, so you'd have to,
Yes, because it's already been divided, surveyed 3 times.
It has been
David
surveyed.
Meyer already surveyed.
That's the
he
fourth
surveyed it
split.
before.
Right, it's surveyed, but it's not listed as platted, so in confirming, so it has not been, by the plats that are on file, it's not shown as 4 separate plats, and regardless, when 2 properties are adjoining, and it's not for the building or development of a home, and that parcel is in this exact scenario. where a family member is giving another family member this access. It's not to subdivide and build a home. That excludes the requirement for it to have.
But it is still another split. That's where, and I know if you took that down there to the auditor's office, Lynette would fight you tooth and nail to record that without her.
Except when it is two abutting properties. It's not being split and sold off to another entity. Two abutting properties.
But what's to have her turn around and do it?
It's, the initial split was due to a death of the family.
Right, but that's a split. A
So
split
that's
is a split.
administrative subdivision. So that administrative subdivision, because the death of the family, is different than administrative subdivision for the purposes of development. And
I don't doubt you, Pam, but that's not what has been done in the past, and maybe we've been doing it wrong.
I think the purpose of the variance application is because this split is a less than 5-acre amount on a split, and a less than 5-acre on agricultural will require the approval of a variance from the BZA board.
And I objected, that is only number one. So under D, division of tracts of at least 5 acres, that's D. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are 5 other categories that allow this split to occur without having to go through a variance. And what she refers to is number one on this. So respectfully, I'm just turning this through that either way, unfortunately, the application isn't allowed to be made under this petitioner. It's Mrs. Clark who's actually making the application. But from what occurs in every other county and in our county in other instances, when a death has occurred and the family has split properties up, this is allowed without any type of variance.
Yes, and that has already happened.
Yeah, and I asked the BZA to please consider that in your determination.
Okay, well, we can't get a hold of Ms. Clark, and she needs to be part of this hearing, so do I have a motion to table this hearing until next month?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. We need to find out. Let's turn our mic.
Well, let's close the hearing
Yeah, let's
first.
close the public hearing.
Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'm now closing the
Aye.
design variance hearing for Fresh Roots.
he's discussing the questions.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.